Welcome to the new series where I'll be going from $0 to $1 million in prop firm funding. Why choose trading? Well, I think anybody with a starting salary of around $50,000 can use trading as their vehicle to go from around $50,000 a year to $1 million every single year. I truly believe that, and that's exactly why I want to document my journey, where I'll be documenting every single step that I take from going from literally zero in funding to $1 million. Trading doesn't really require any formal education. It's not like being a doctor where you gotta spend like 6 to 8 years in college. You can have zero formal education. You can be literally 16 or 50, doesn't matter. Your age, doesn't matter your location. You're not restricted to a certain geography of the whole world. You can kind of do it from anywhere. I'm not trying to sell you anything here, but it's just a fact. You can just, with a phone, you can be entering trades, you can be managing your trades, and then you can be also taking profits. So I would say anybody with the right knowledge and the perfect systems in place can achieve that goal of having like $1 million in capital or withdrawing literally like $20,000 a month. With the right knowledge, I would say trading would be the quickest and fastest business that could take you from zero to withdrawing $20,000 in profits per month. Now, it's not what you think it is. It doesn't require huge capitals in order to be making $20,000 a month. And that's because we have something called prop firms, which means you can buy capital. You don't need to have capital. So let's say there are companies where you pay for a challenge, let's say $100,000 challenge. They set certain requirements and certain targets. And if you achieve those targets, you'll be able to trade with that $100,000 live. After that, once you're in the live funded stage, any profits made on that $100,000, you will take home 80% of that, which is pretty awesome. So to get to the live funded stage with the challenges, you'll first have to go through 2 stages. First stage, where you'd be required to get 8% on the profits of that account. So let's say $100,000, you'll have to achieve $8,000 in profits. And then the phase 2 would be a 5% profit on that same challenge. So that $100,000 resets after the first phase, and then you'll have to achieve another 5%, which is $5,000 in this case. And then after that, you'll get to the live funded stage where all profits you make, you will be able to take 8%. My target at that live funded stage would be 2%, which is around $2,000 per 100K challenge, and then taking home $2,000 to my pocket. So now that you know a little bit about the prop firms and how I'm gonna get to the $1 million in capital, I'm not gonna start with buying the $1 million in challenges from the start. That's gonna cost around $5,000. So I wanna risk the least amount of my money to get to the $1 million in capital. All right, perfect. So to get to the $1 million in funding capital, first we're gonna purchase our first 100K account, which is gonna cost $385. And then after hopefully 14 days, we pass the first and the second stage, we're gonna start with the second 100K account, which is gonna cost around $400 for the second one. Now we're kind of down $800, but we're gonna wait another 14 days, and that's where things get a little bit more interesting. After the second 14 days, we'll hopefully target the 2% profit target of the first 100K account, which is around $2,000. And then we're also going to have the second 100K in funding. So in total, after like 28 days, hopefully we'll have 200K live funded and about floating $1,600 in profits. So we're going to use those $1,600 in profits to purchase another 4 100K accounts. So after the third 14-day period, we're going to have 2% from the 200K, which is $4,000, and an additional $400,000 in live funding. So which will get us to 600K in live funding. And I'll purchase another 4 100K accounts, which will cost us another $1,400 from the profits that we've already withdrew from the 200K funded. I kind of broke it down for you guys to kind of show you that I'm not just starting with $5,000. I know a lot of people don't have that money to get started. And that's why I'm starting with like a couple $100 and building my way up to $1 million in funding to hopefully get to $20,000 in profits by the end of the challenge as well. So now that I kind of broke down how we're going to get to $1 million in funding, it is very crucial to have systems, processes, and risk management in place so that you don't just simply fail the challenges pretty easily. That's exactly why I wrote down my rules. And those rules I will never ever break, no matter what. First rule will be to never risk more than 2% per trade. So our risk parameters is going to be only per trade, we're only going to be risking 2% of that account. The second rule would be not to take more than 2 trades a day. Maximum amount of trades will be 2. It's going to be very hard mentally, but once you have that written down, you will never break it. Third rule, which would be going break even or setting the stop loss to entry point after the trade has gone up 1-to-1 risk to reward from my entry. And the fourth and the final rule would be taking profit once the trade goes up 2 to 3 risk to reward, or 2 to 3%. So I'll be closing the trade after it's gone up 2 to 3 risk to reward. And with those rules, knowing my trading style, I have around 40 to 60% win rate. It'll take me around 3 to 4 winning trades to get to my profit target, which is 8% from the first challenge, and then around 2 to 3 trades to get to the second phase, which is 5% profit target. All right, now the upload schedule on YouTube is going to be every Tuesday and Thursday. The Tuesday video is going to cover the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday trades that I take, and the Thursday video is going to cover all the Monday and Tuesday trades that I take. And for the TikTok and the YouTube shorts, there's going to be a video from Monday to Friday every single day. All right, so subscribe right now to follow my journey going from $0 to $1 million in funding.